Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc.com, coming to you with your no frills American Idol commentary from a singer. Tonight was the top 8 and we had a bunch of stuff going on. We had clips from the auditions to start the show tonight with lots of hairy rubbing and touching on Keith and jokes and the voiceovers, and we got to see pictures of Ryan at 8 months old. Then we found out the theme tonight is the idols sing the song that got them their golden tickets. They had to do their audition song, and they'll also be doing duets tonight. So they were put together for duets. And before each performance, we got their baby pictures, and their family talked a little bit about how they were as a child. We started out with Jessica Meuse. She did Blue Eyed Lie, an original song that she wrote, and in a dress and combat boots, and just got to sing her song with a full band, and her voice definitely had a lot more presence and bite than any of her cover performances so far. This is definitely where she shines, and I was really loving it. Keith said he loves the ferocity she sings with. J-Lo said it was perfect and she loved the whole thing. Harry compared her to Cher and Nancy Sinatra and said he loved the song. CJ Harris was up next. He did Soul Shine by the Allman Brothers Band, and CJ has such a great tone and emotion when he sings. This was one of his better connected performances, and he improved a bit from his original audition too, in my opinion anyway. Keith was rocking away with him, and J-Lo was vibing to the music too, and I can hear this a few more times. It really was pleasing to my ears. J-Lo said there's something that comes from him that touches her heart, and it sounded so soulful and heartfelt. Harry said his voice is special enough to be here. Keith said he reined it in better than in Audition City. Then we had a duet from Jena, Irene, and Alex Preston. They did Just Give Me a Reason by Pink and Nate Roos. And right from the start, I like Jena's voice on this, and Alex always makes every song his own. He seemed just a little coquettish though under Jena, and she was staring down at him while he was looking away and stuff, and like she kept looking at him and he would look away. Like I was like, what's going on? They nailed the little tough melodic part together well. So that was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. They are giving critiques on this one, so I'm giving you critiques. Make sure to thumb it up. Let me know that you're enjoying the commentary, that you're enjoying the critiques and the playback and all that good stuff, the recap, and I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you are appreciating the commentary. Thanks for your thumbs, Sam Woolf was up next. He did Lego House by Ed Sheeran, and Sam was working that camera for quite a while. When they started out, the camera was going across and he was just all up in it, giving you the eyes and stuff. I was like, oh, you know, boy. What was with all the laughs on stage though? They would clap on, clap off laughs. His voice is so pure and natural and really shined on this song. He had a little bounce going on too and really seemed to be in touch with what he was saying. This is probably the most comfortable he's seemed in the live shows so far. Harry tried to give him some advice about connecting to the audience, and he was telling him, you know, it's not his confidence, it's his connection. And I can see that because he just doesn't actually get into singing to people, and he told him that when he gets applause or something like that, he should sing to somebody. And what he didn't say is that every time he should sing to somebody different, you know, not keep going back to the same person, but he should connect to somebody in each part of the audience during out the performance, and then it'll feel like that he's really bringing people into it. Keith said he's getting better every week. J-Lo said America got to see just a glimpse of the magic of Sam Woolf. Jessica Meuse and Caleb Johnson did their duet Stop Dragging My Heart Around by Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty, and they really are pushing the Stevie Nicks angle with Jessica, and she does sound good on the material, so I ain't mad at him. Caleb was a little sedate on this, but he was being rough and ready with Jess while she was being so sweet with him. He put her arm up on him at one point where he was like, ah, 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 and she was like, oh. So I guess they had worked out their little thing and got their little characters together. That was really nice. And I love when he echoed her. She sang a note, he echoed her, and then they ended together on the same little refrain. It was very nice. Malaya Watson was up next. She did Ain't No Way by Aretha Franklin, and this young girl has so much soul and passion for one so young. I could still hear the youth in her voice, but the strength and control were way beyond her years. God, and her voice isn't close to maturity yet. And I love the stank face at the end on the last note. You know, she was giving it. She was feeling that note. You know what I'm saying? Keith stood for her. Keith said she was in such good control and called it fantastic. J-Lo said she's gaining poise and said she's going to be a huge star. Harry said it was a strong performance and she's doing everything right, and again told her to learn all the notes in the tonal system. And then we got some real-time voting results with Ryan Ryan and the over 21s were liking Jessica. She was in first place, while Sam was in the lead with those under 21. Dexter Roberts was up next. He did One Mississippi by Brett Eldredge, and he really has a nicely textured voice, and you could hear it on here like no other song he has done so far. While he was singing, there was this nice rich low note thing going along with a nasal higher overtone, and he even seemed to have a little almost yodel happening. This was a good change to see in Dexter, and he gave a pretty touching performance of the song. I like the twang in his voice too. I mean, I just really did. It was just coming all throughout this song. J-Lo said she got to hear so many nuances that she hadn't heard. Harry said he sat on that stool and sang the crap out of that song. It was the perfect song, and he sang it perfectly. Keith said he's grown by leaps and bounds, but told him to pay more attention to the lyric than the sound of his voice. And J-Lo mentioned Allison Aretha on the harmony, and then Ryan mentioned her again, you know, and all that good stuff, and asked her what season she was from and all that. So that was very nice to see her once again. She was up there doing her thing on Idol. The next duet was Malaya Watson and Sam Woolf. They did Lucky by Colbie, Caillat, and Jason Mraz. And Sam started out the song well enough. Then Malaya came in with this almost musical theater type performance style. You know, her voice sounded great, but Sam wasn't really feeling it, or I don't know, maybe he shied away just a little bit. They had good harmony and were kind of cute together, but I wasn't feeling no chemistry there, you know, maybe friendship, but nothing else. They're so young and they looked so sweet and they sounded so sweet. So this was a very nice duet for me. Jena Irene was up next. She did Rolling in the Deep by Adele, and she slowed this way down and started out with the chorus. And I heard a lot of reverb going on, you know, on her voice, and she was giving me a torch song singer. She really was. I wasn't crazy about the arrangement behind her. It just felt a little unsupported and like she was out there on her own. The piano was kind of her only guide, but she held her own and tried to make us cry. I'm telling you, she brought on the big notes too, and a wonderful ending on a hard vowel to sustain. You know, to keep that E open and sustain it for a female is very, very difficult, and she handled it very well. Keith stood for her. Harry said she did a great job. Keith said he loved that she made the song her own, and he loved every second of it. J-Lo advised her to blow everyone away and try to win the whole show. Well, I thought that's what they all try to do, J-Lo. Then the next duet, we had Dexter Roberts and C.J. Harris do All Right by Darius Rucker. Let me tell y'all, they both picked up the guitars for this one, but I was not liking the way they sounded on the song as soloists, and definitely not together. Not with the background singers, not with each other. I just did not like this. Did you tell me down in the comment section, did you guys like this duet? There was something just way off, and they weren't quite meshing on this. It was a mess. I wrote on Twitter, I think they could have just scrapped this whole duet and started over again. Next up, we had Caleb Johnson doing Chain of Fools by Aretha Franklin, and I love that Caleb is really thinking outside the box with song choices and pouring them into his own mold. This was a down and dirty blues. I don't know, you might want to call it rock or whatever. This was blues, baby. And he rocked out on it, but he did the blues up in here. At points, I felt like the tempo may have been just a tad slow because the energy lagged when he wasn't singing. Like, it was like there was a void when his voice wasn't there. You could tell that it was just, even with the background singers doing their thing, it was just, he filled it up so well while he was there that when he wasn't there, it just felt a little stagnant to me. But this was really pleasing to me. I was loving the way he worked this song. Keith called him a rock and roll Viking. J-Lo said it's like he's been waiting all his life to do this. Harry said he'd love if he'd do something that wasn't so loud for once. You can't please all the people all the time. And he keeps talking about, I want to hear you slow it down. I haven't heard you do it. But he did the, what's the name song? He did Skyfall. So he did slow it down. Get your memory together, baby. I ain't got a good memory and I remember that. Anyway, Alex Preston was last in the pimp spot. He did Fairytales, his original song, and this was such an intense vocal from Alex. I mean, he always seemed to have such a distinct sound, but this was really way over the top for him. He just brought everything. I wrote this is something I could hear playing on the radio, and he had such an easy way of going in and out of his falsetto that was pretty seamless. And he's really lived this song, and you could tell just, it was from every emotion, and even the way he took his breaths, he was just all up in it. I was just looking at him like, oh my God, you better go ahead and do that thing, brother. Really, really enjoyed the song, the feeling, the emotion, everything about it. J-Lo said he's grown and become so comfortable. Harry said he enjoyed the arrangement. Oh, and he said that Alex Preston was shaking the vibrato out. And Keith said half the contestants were singing along with him and told him a great job. Woo! there you go. Then we have the top 8 tonight. Who is your favorite? Tell me down in the comments. Then we got one last look at the real-time voting results, and the 21 and overs were really liking Dexter. He was in #1 place, while those under 21 had Jena in the lead. Daughtry is performing on the results show tomorrow night, and I will see you guys there. This is Robert Anton, robertantonnyc.com. I'm out. Peace.